The history of video games. Pinball. The idea of video games. It all started out with pinball games, which gave the idea of moving parts and electricity. Some people wanted to try and tie computers and pinball together. They did this because computers were new, so they wanted to see what they could do with them.
Video games started. People saw computers, and instead of running punch cards through the computer, they wanted to run video games instead. So, a group of people called hackers made the Tech Model Railroad Club. Together, this team, with the help of Steve Russell, created Space Wars.
Video games took off. With the making of Space War, companies saw the video game industry as a big moneymaker. That's when lots and lots of new companies started, like Atari, Sega, Nintendo, Nutting Associates, and Capcom. With the addition of all of these brand new companies, video games were coming out, well, to be honest, they were coming out willy-nilly. A new video game would come out almost every day, or at least it seemed like it.
Gaming systems. You can't play video games without the video gaming system, can you? So instead of just focusing on video games, companies were now producing new and different gaming systems. Some of which were very unusual. Atari came out with the 2600 with its line of games. And Nintendo came out with the Game Boy, a small.
The US loved video games. The arcade revenues with all these games we would consider old made billions of dollars, 5 billion to be exact. All this money showed because Americans spent over 75,000 hours on video games. You'll never believe this, but all of this, the 75,000 hours and the $5 billion, only happened in a matter of 9 years. Crazy, right?
Classic video games. The 1990s was a huge video game period. It was huge because video games that came out are video games that everybody still knows today. because they became so iconic. Some of the video games that came out were Donkey Kong, Miss Pac-Man, Tetris, Legends of Zelda, and Super Mario Bros., and a lot of other ones. The market was getting very, very competitive now.
Video games became normal. After a few years, video games became, well, they became normal, and they were no longer some foreign device to people. It seemed as though they'd been around for generations and generations, and people were still loving them. Just because the video games were no longer new, this does not mean the video game market stopped. In fact, it only went up from there. They started to add better graphics and more interactive games. Like if a game was all pixels, they would change it and make it a game with characters that almost seemed real life. They also took old games and changed the graphics, storyline, and quality and made new versions of it, like Legends of Zelda.
Worldwide. First, it was Warcraft that came out, but it wasn't worldwide yet. Then, a few years later, EverQuest came out and let you interact with people near you in game. This left Warcraft stunned. Then, Warcraft made a new game called World of Warcraft, which was literally sent out worldwide and you could interact with anybody who had a computer. Hence the name World of Warcraft.
The year 2000 came and brought a new game revolution. The game Sparta came out and it was a big hit. Microsoft released the Xbox, which today is still an immensely big hit. Nintendo came out with the DS and its very, very big line of games.
In 2009, a new company came out with Minecraft and is personally my favorite. This company was called Mojang. Then, in 2014, Mojang sold Minecraft to Microsoft for $2.5 billion. That's a lot of money. From 2007 to 2014, some new favorites of the public were Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, and Assassin's Creed.
And how they brought people together. Video games help spark friendship and bring people together from anywhere in the world. Since the 1970s to 2014, video games have made a huge leap from Space War to Call of Duty. If you ask me, the future looks very, very bright for video